Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. We'll have a look round the garden, but I have to admit I've sort of lost interest in it. Hopefully temporarily, that's one of the reasons. The mess, not only that needs putting back together, which is work, some of it heavy work that's probably going to do my back in. I'm hoping to get some help, and this is the additional mess that it creates, is everything's in the wrong place, everything's not where it should be. But nonetheless, spring is coming and things are coming back to life, and that is good. My bonsai are all sort of sprouting out. This is the false, come on, this will take some doing. False larch, we'll get there in a minute, golden larch. That had some very heavy pruning last year, under guidance at the Bonsai Society, but I think it's gone a bit heavy, quite honestly. This is one of my two Acer palmatum bonsai. This one always comes out a bit later than its sister tree, but it's coming back to life. My little trident maple, so named because unlike maples which have 5 or more sections to their leaves, the trident maple only has 3, hence the trident. This was an air layer, so this will be its first year growing as a standalone tree. It was potted up last year. This is the sister tree, the other maple. This one's coming back into leaf, and I have to go round doing this. All of these little extensions have to be taken off, because if they're allowed to grow, they'll just grow too long. But where this was pruned in the autumn, a lot of them have already been done, so they're coming out in 2s rather than 1s. But some of them still need to be done. That's a long-term project, but I do it a bit at a time. My Deshojo's coming back into leaf now. That's looking good. Another couple of weeks that'll be in full leaf. That'll be stunning. My hornbeam's starting to leaf out. I won't be doing too much to that now. It's had its trim. And my Kojo no Mei Fuji cherry, that's finished blooming now. It's just got the mess that it leaves behind, but that's coming back into leaf as well. So that's sort of what's going on with the bonsai over here. There's 2 tucked in there that don't get a mention. That's my, oh no, I mean, oh yes. This was bought last year because I always wanted a red hawthorn, not common. And the person who I bought it from had pruned it incredibly hard. And she said, as a consequence, it probably won't bloom. Won't bloom? Huh! So we're going to have some serious blossom on that in the not too distant future. That's my copper beech. That beech are always the last to leaf out. That won't get much done to it. It'll just get the ends of the branches taken off so that the back buds sprout. That's all that'll get done to that. Right, back to the garden. Now, whatever these are, this poor little thing here self-seeded itself. Unfortunately, this alleyway causes a gale. It's like a wind tunnel, and there's a hell of an amount of wind that comes down here. So that's probably just going to get bent over all the time. The bugle that was planted in here last year has taken, so we should get some purple flowers on that soon. We've got quite a few of the so I'm going to have trouble with names today and everything else, quite honestly. No, it'll come later, but there's quite a few of them starting to grow now. We don't see signs of many blooms apart from those over there, that lovely deep red one, but that's going over. And then we do have a problem because I'm not quite sure what's happened here. I wonder if that's wind or whether it can't be lack of water. This ground's still wet. but several of my snake's head fritillaries have fallen over there, including the white one, which is a bit disappointing. These over here are finishing now. There's still not much sign of life with the ferns at the moment, but this is bursting forth. That'll be a mass of purple bells in the not too distant future. Little primroses dotted around. There's a violet here that's coming into bloom. That's our native wild violet. Oh, it's a sign of life on one of the ferns. Tiny little frond. And this is the lily of the valley coming out. That's going to be in flower soon. Be nice. Highly fragrant, that is. I'm just coming along here. This is the rose campion. That's a long-term perennial, a short-term perennial. I'll get this right in a minute. So basically, it can last several years, but in the main, it seeds after it flowers. Those seedlings grow on in the first year, survive the winter, and then grow on and flower sort of the following year, that sort of thing. That primula's looking nice. There's again, there's violets all tucked away in here, and down in there there's some, so they'll be in flower soon. And having said there's not much sign of life on the ferns, yes there is. They're starting to come through. Oh goody, I love my ferns. What else we've got? Californian poppy up the back there, nice big one. Ferns coming back. Oh, they are coming back. Oh, I'm so pleased. I thought I'd lost some of them. We've got aquiledias, granny bonnets, they're coming through. They'll be in flower down the road. The London Pride's starting to clump up now. That will come into bloom. Not too distant future, I suppose. Another giant Californian poppy in here. Not Californian poppy, Welsh poppy. And then whatever that is up there that's self-seeded, that's getting blown to bits, this is where it came from, and this is coming into flower. It has tiny little bells on that the bees like, so that's good. We've got Spanish bluebells and Spanish bluebells. So we've got several of those. That looks like a foxglove down there. That's not a good place for it at the front of the border. Be better at the back. Coming around here, we're going to get into the sunshine in a minute. These bits of greenery down here that I said I wasn't sure if they were seedlings or weeds, they were weed seedlings, so they were both. And that's what most of that is up there, so they need pulling out soon. And up there are English bluebells. And we didn't get much of a flowering on those last year. In fact, I'm not sure I had any. These clumps are, some of it's phlox and some of it's Michaelmas daisies. Oh look, there's a granny bonnet here, going to be in bloom soon. Excellent, good. And there's loads of granny bonnet spikes pushing up in that corner as well. And those are, every time I get to those I forget the name, so I'm forgetting the name of everything today except those, Crocosmia. There, I do remember some things sometimes. And again, these two clumps here are both going to be a mass of purple bells in the not too distant. The rose is coming back into growth. It's not a happy plant, but it'll produce some flowers. Oh, so that's the planted border. And then round here, this is not a happy plant. It shouldn't really be here. It's a plant it's like a bedding plant. It's a perpetual wallflower. And you buy them as young plants, and you grow them on for a couple of years, and then you get rid of them and start again. And this one I just kept it going, so it's all woody, and it will probably produce flowers. It does have some buds on, but it looks tatty. It's not happy. And then these are all herbs in here. That's chives and oregano. three different sorts. That one I'll never remember. Those are dandelions. Although I can't get the plants out, I can get the flowers off so that they don't seed. This is the fuchsia, and it's not showing signs of life yet. Yes, it is. We have growth starting to come back. That will push on at a rate of knots once it gets going. Oh, my back. Right, my maple is looking stunning. The colouring on this is gorgeous. It's nearly yellow. It's such a pale lime sort of green that it's almost yellow, and it's a mass of flowers this year. Absolute mass of tiny little flowers, and they produce little winged seeds. They don't ever grow. I don't think there's anything to pollinate them. I think it's something that needs cross-pollination, so it needs another maple in flower nearby, and I don't think there is one. Although my red maple is coming out now, so that's in the garden, so it's not a thing. The white camellia would look absolutely stunning if the blooms didn't go brown. If they fell off before they went brown, then it would look good. But it's a mass of blooms. But the look of it is spoilt as the blooms go over, because they just turn that horrible brown colour, which is such a shame. And if you look at the silhouette of the wisteria, you can see, in fact I might be able to zoom in, somewhere like there. You can see the buds. So that's going to be in flower in the not too distant future. That's going to be good. We'll go quite quickly past the next bit. Lots of ground cover. And the forget-me-nots are starting to come out now. So there'll be a nice lot of blue, and then the thyme, which is this very tight-knit plant, has spread quite dramatically. And again on this side, so we've got thyme, we've got another ground cover plant here these leaves are eventually going to fade away. I might try and get the leaf blower out now we've got some drier weather coming. Over the next few days it's going to be dry and warm, which should mean these leaves have totally dried out, so I might try and get the leaf blower out and whack them up in that corner. Now this is my cuckoo flower, again a wild native flower. There was something in a pot that died, but it came from Carol. It was a daisy type flower of some sort, I've forgotten, and the cuckoo flower came with it. So it sort of grew, and it took over the pot, and then I don't know what was in that pot, but it took over that pot, and it's also spreading into the ground around the pots, and it's a lovely delicate wildflower. Lovely delicate flower. So that's a cuckoo flower. Up in amongst here we have weeds, so I'm going to have to start weeding. I know it does my back, that's the problem. There's a few primroses up there. Quite a few of those died in the heat waves and everything last year. In amongst all of this is some nice ground cover and weeds. I need to sort the weeds out. And I'm going to chat with Hannah when she's down about reclaiming some of the gravel beds back to gravel beds. Because at the moment the ground cover is taking over such that there's very little of the gravel beds left now. They've all grown in to ground cover, which can look a bit of a mess. There's a violet actually out in flower there in full sun. They're a woodland plant, they don't normally grow in full sun. And again, violets here. They're dotted around all over the place. They self-seed. There's lots up here. The buddleia, this is the white one. That's looking dry. I'm going to have to water that. We've had so little rain lately. And here as well, this is the other two buddleias. And there's some life on it. As I say, this one's looking a bit sad. but they were cut hard back. Hopefully they will recover and come on. But this flooded. The whole thing was sunk actually in water. This filled up with water, and it could have actually killed the roots. So these might not come back, because this one I don't see any signs of growth on it at all. This one has got some, so this one may recover. We shall see. Most of this up here is weeds. I'm going to have to get at it. Back-breaking work, unfortunately, weeds. These are the containers that were on the decking that had to be moved to clear the decking off like that. So that's the Himalayan honeysuckle. Do you know what? That always makes me smile when I say it, because it makes me think of Manuel in 40 Towers with his rat. Himalayan hamster, or whatever he called it. That's lilac. That's got very woody, starting to look a bit tatty, but it's shooting out. We'll get flowers on it. And the rosemary's in flower at the moment. I've noticed the bees getting up in this corner, and hoverflies, so that's good. A little bit of early nectar. And yeah, this camellia with the red flowers that was buried in the bamboo to such an extent we didn't know we had it. And then, having found it, we sort of cut the bamboo back. Now all this bamboo's starting to come out again, so the hedge trimmer's going to have to go up. Hannah worked on the top last time she was here and rounded the top off, and took a lot of the long tatty bits off of the wisteria. So yeah, so we still got a bit of work to do on that bamboo. So keep it back, get it back there out the way. So that's up in this corner. Oh, the different types of thyme are everywhere. You know, a big clump here, another big clump here. There's one got the other side of the path here. Some of this flipping bittersweet. I'm trying to keep it down, but just keeps coming back. Apparently it has a survival mechanism. It's not unique, but a little bit that way. That's some cuckoo flower got right up in here. Try and keep that going. Not sure it's going to like being in full sun, but oh, right. Where do we get to? Thyme. Thyme's growing all over the place. That looks like it is something other than a weed, but I don't know what it is. This is the red valerian. Red valerian. Rose campion, red valerian. Yeah, so that's red valerian that's self-seeded. There's an oak tree. Is it? It might be a weed. Don't know. Oh. And then this is red valerian. This is the original clump, and that's showing buds already. So that's going to be in bloom an awful long time this year. That's the sedum. That will come back again. That'll all shoot out. And then red valerian self-seeded up in there, and some more there. So there'll be some more coming through under that staging. Some more cuckoo flower got in amongst the thyme. More thyme. And the forget-me-nots have even managed to self-seed as far over as this. So that's pretty good going. And then these bonsai over here, that's the European beech. That will get a basic trim in the not too distant future, but it needs repotting. So that'll get done at the same time. This is my Japanese larch. That's had its trim, and that's coming on quite nicely. It's not a bad little tree, that one. This one I'm giving away, or not giving away, but getting rid of, as with this one. So these two will be gone as soon as I can get to a Bonsai Society meeting. I didn't get to the last one because I didn't want to leave the house. This is my birthday tree, which we've recently had in a video. We didn't do much to it apart from clean the pot up a bit, but put some feed in there. That's my Scots pine bonsai. That still hasn't been looked at this year, but we do need to get in there and get the dead needles out and see what I'm going to do with it. So that's that. Then up in this little bit, unfortunately, it's when we do the work on the decking, putting it all back together, there's going to be feet going up and down here to a degree, not too much. So there's going to be some stuff getting trampled on. But in amongst here, we've got there's some bugle, there's some rose campion, there's some London pride, there's some ferns that I can just see signs of life on. There's some weeds, some primroses up the back there, and there's that clump of bamboo that we hacked off that we are going to chemically kill. But to do that, I needed some new growth on it, which I can now see. And then that will get chemically killed and die and rot back into the ground until eventually we can plant something there. We thought about digging it out, but think how big the hole would be and what would I have to fill the hole in with. So we decided to just let it die back, unnaturally, but die back naturally once it's been killed. A lot of work to do here. I don't even like looking at it. I've got no interest in doing it at the moment. This bush here that has lovely white flowers on eventually, that's all shot out nicely. And that spiky bush there that has the bright orange berries, pyracantha, that was hacked back by Hannah nicely and rounded off. And now that it's come out into leaf again, it looks really nice this year, better than it ever has before. And I do believe I can see got some buds, so it'll be in flower in the not too distant future, as will this. So that's that. So that's really what's going on at the moment. My Sarracenias have all got to come in and be repotted. Well, I've missed my, strictly speaking, I've missed my chance. It should have been done a month ago, late winter. It's now April, but I'm still going to do it anyway. I'll just cut most of the greenery off, apart from any obvious new growths. Get them set up in some new media, in some, in suitable pots, and we can get going again with those. So it's funny, when I first got them, I thought they were something that needed to be sort of shady. They survive best and grow best in full sun, and if they don't get full sun, they don't grow properly. So got that a bit wrong. So there we go. Everything looks a bit scruffy at the moment. Hannah will help tidy up and we'll keep plodding away. That's all we can do. But this is holding me up at the moment, and it's really worrying me on the grounds that I've got no interest in doing it. But if I don't get on with it, the alternative is to pay somebody else to come in and do it. And then I'll be paying an hourly rate for somebody to do something that I can actually do myself. I just need to get the incentive to get on with it. So there we go. That's what's going on. Yeah, there's some nice things going on. There's actually some English bluebells come into flower up in that dark space up there. They didn't flower at all last year. So they are gradually acclimatizing, I think is the expression. And this rose here is this one suffers badly from the old black spot, but it often drops its leaves. It gets so bad, but I'll give it a spray eventually. But at the moment there's no signs of the black spot. At least leaves are nice and clean. So, and it always puts on new growth. It always has a mass of flowers. Cut those off and then it does it again later in the year. They don't last long, but they look nice. And what we have got to look forward to that there's no signs of yet, in here, buried in underneath the ivy, is the most attractive geranium. And it is absolutely stunning. It's by far my best one. There's no sign of that yet. That comes through later in the year and then blooms from sort of midsummer right into autumn. and it covers the ivy. It looks so good. So that's that. That's about it really. That's what's going on. As I said, the thing that I do like are the snake's head fritillaries, but a couple of them have keeled over for some reason. Don't know why. I tell you what, I've just noticed something. Oh, look at that. That's this plant here. That is a creeper. I forget where it was planted, but it was over here somewhere. And here. So it's starting to get a hold. Whatever it is, it's minor. It's something or other minor. There is a something or other major, which creeps all up into bushes. This one is a very slow-growing, low-growing creeper, but it does have rather nice flowers. That's the first time I've seen the flowers. That came from my friend Helen, and it was only a small piece. So that looks like it's growing. So that's what's going on. As I say, my interest is low at the moment. You've got all the green coming up. There's even a stinger nettle there coming up on the patio. It looks untidy. But if I tried to deal with it, I can only deal with half of it because I can't get at this half. Until we can get that decking done, then everything's sort of on hold. So we will bring it back. Come midsummer, we will have a nice garden again. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. And I'll see you next time.